Commercial purpose could be where business are using it for buying and selling, or maybe they have their offices, stores, warehouses, and so forth. All these are considered or classified as commercial purposes, and that the income that the property owner is driving or is getting from this type of activity is what we call commercial rental income, and the rate for taxing that income is at the rate of 15% on the gross, and no deduction is allowed. For residential, we say these are properties or houses that people are dwelling or living there for residential purposes, and the owners of those houses or landlords in this case, the income that they are driving from letting out those compounds for residential purposes is what we call residential rental income, and the tax on that income is at the rate of 10%, and that one also is on gross, and no deduction allowed under this type of income.
Good. Thank you very much, Chair. Mr. Sar, I want to come to this question. It is of no doubt that tenants, they parent, of course. If you don't parent, you are evicted at the end of the month or at a particular period. But property owners, do you think they actually care about paying this rental income tax to GRA?
Well, we have some who care, those who know their obligation, and those who have the awareness of why they should pay tax. They are coming up, but we still have a lot who are not coming up, because we have a lot of properties that are rented out for stores, for residences, but we don't capture everything in our register, and we don't have the manpower now to reach out to them. But we are doing our efforts, and with the help of third-party information that we can get from outside sources, we can get to them.
Good, but does GRA have this system in place wherein the property owners are documented and followed through a systematic order?
Yes, in 2009 there was a survey that was conducted on rented properties, being it commercial or residential, and we have a document, a database that captures all these residential property owners and the rent that are paid for these properties, and some of their contact numbers also we have. So we are using that data to reach out to them, to talk to them, to tell them to come over and declare their properties and the income they are generating from renting out these properties and pay the corresponding taxes.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Cham,
yes.
One important question. There are a lot of property owners in
yes,
town,
that's
and
true.
I believe most of them are registered, but you also have a bulk who are not registered and be paying this rental income tax, which I believe is a loss of revenue to the government of the Gambia.
Definitely.
What is GRA doing at your level to try to address this situation?
Yes, as my colleague Sar rightly said, we have a database that we are using at the moment to try to get to those landlords or property owners who have not yet come forward to declare the income they are earning from rented properties. And we are also using third-party information in the sense that businesses that are filing their return with the tax office, and in those returns they normally indicate the landlords, the rent that they are paying to those landlords, and the contact numbers of those landlords. So we are using that information also. And we are trying to use this forum also as a way of reaching out to the landlords who are not aware of this type of taxes. So these are basically the three main approach that we are using. And as Sir said, we don't have enough manpower. Resources are our constraint. So we are using the limited resources we have to the best of our abilities to try to get to this landlord, to tell them that to come forward and then declare. Because if you look at paying tax, as I've been saying over and over, it should be seen as a national duty. You shouldn't wait until GRA gets to you. You should come forward as a patriotic citizen, as a good individual who is residing in this country, whether you are a citizen or not, but as long as you are residing here, you should be a good somebody or a good person to come forward and then declare the income you are earning from rent or any other income for you to be able to pay your tax, because we all know paying tax is a national duty, as I said, because the income, the tax you pay, that is the resources that government is using to finance so many development projects we are seeing happening around us. So this is a national duty. It should not be seen as a GRA affair only. People should be cooperative whether GRA reaches you or not. As long as you are earning income, you should come forward and declare that income you are earning and then pay the corresponding tax. Yeah. This is the message we want to pass across. But in the event that people fail, of course, every tax, there is a law backing the collection of that tax type. Exactly. And a failure to comply with the law, there are consequences. But we don't want to get to those consequences for now. That's why we are using this sensitization. We are using all diplomatic channels and means of getting to the taxpayers, because we know the bulk of these rented property owners are illiterates. Most of them, they say they can't read and write. So therefore, when laws come as far as tax collection is concerned, you have to sensitize them for them to understand, and that will make the collection as easy as possible for GRA.
But the ignorance of the law, wouldn't be an excuse.
No, it's not. You are absolutely right. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. That is a fact, and that is why we are using this sensitization period to tell people.
Why I ask this question,
yes.
Some you inform them,
yes.
you do as much education as possible
yes.
to inform them that you are supposed to pay tax
yes.
because you earn so and so income,
and
by virtue of that you're supposed to pay GRA.
That's
but
true.
Yet still they tend to stay.
Yeah, there are still some who will still be out there not willing to come voluntarily. Then we will go after those ones, and the law will take its course.
Good. Yeah. Now, Cesar, I come back to you again. In the country, some people in certain quarters believe that there are charges of rent, but in other foreign currencies. This has not been confirmed, but according to certain reports. Is it evident that those people who charge in foreign currencies come to GRA and pay foreign currencies?
No. At GRA, we collect tax using the Gambian currency. Whatever currency you are charging on your properties, the equivalent in dollars is what we tax. So if they are making their declarations, they will declare the equivalent in dollars, exactly. And we will apply the tax rate on that dollars amount.
Very good. And this brings me back to this question, Cham. Now, tenants, as I said earlier, yes. they always pay, rent at the end of a particular period of time.
That's true.
But premises,
yes.
the owner of some of these premises sometimes don't honor these tax obligations. I want to ask this question. Is it also a necessity yes. for some of these tenants to talk to premises owners and inquire from them actually whether the money they are paying,
yes.
the actual premises owner is also paying to GRA?
Definitely, that's what I was saying. This is a collective responsibility for all of us. If you are paying your tax and your neighbor who is earning an income like you is not paying tax, definitely it's your responsibility and duty to let GRA know about it, so that the GRA will be able to take the appropriate actions. So if you are a tenant in a particular compound and you realize or you know that your landlord is not paying tax on the income he's getting from letting out those properties, you can come forward to GRA and come with evidence or come with information. Now you'll be able to use that information to get to that landlord to enable him pay this tax, either voluntarily or through the necessary enforcement procedures or measures at our disposal.
Thank you. Sir, this issue of leased properties, it's also part of the rental income tax. Can you share some ideas on that?
Yes, we all understand most property owners now are going into agreement with other business people, lease their properties for a number of years, In other words, it's just like you letting out your property to